Yeah. Oh, yes. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today I got a video for all you steak lovers out there. That's right. I'm gonna break down how to pan sear a nice beautiful steak on the stove top. I'm gonna throw it in the oven, throw it back on the stove, finish her off. I'm gonna use two steaks because I'm using two different pans for you. The first one, I'm gonna use a cast iron skillet. Love steaks fried on cast iron skillet, who doesn't? And the second one, in a stainless steel saute pan. There are, what do they call that, forward seared nowadays. We're gonna sear it off. It's gonna be beautiful, both with cream sauces. The saute pan will have a wine and mushroom and shallot cream sauce, while the cast iron is just straight up cream sauce right at your face. Wow, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Steak video. And here are ingredients for today. Now I'll start by saying that these New York strips, bone in, about 1.5 inches, I have been dry brining overnight, meaning that I simply just season them with kosher salt, put them on a rack, and they were on a plate in the fridge about 20 hours. 20 hours. So here's the cast iron I'll be using. That's a saute pan. I'm gonna use some fresh herbs. I have some fresh thyme and fresh rosemary. Over here, some minced shallots. One of the sauces is gonna have mushrooms, so I have some cremini mushrooms. Some Liberty Creek Cabernet Sauvignon for the Euro style wine sauce, salt, pepper, and heavy cream, because they're both going to be cream sauces. The oven has been on. I have it at 400 degrees, and she's ready to roll. So at this time, I'm going to start by, it's important that we heat up the cast iron, and you got to give her at least 15 minutes on medium to low heat. 15 minutes. The stainless steel sauteer pan will nearly take that long. Oh, and also I have some homemade chicken stock that I'll be using. You could use beef stock, and I recommend you do. I wish I did have some, but I have this homemade chicken stock I made is beautiful. It's going to be nice. Cast iron's getting heated up. Get this guy going. See you right back when I start searing these steaks. Alright folks, let's talk about saute pans and cast iron pans. What I'll be using today is this saute pan right here. It's a Martha Stewart saute pan, one of my favorite that I have. I bought it at Kmart back in '04 for $47. When Martha Stewart was selling her products on Kmart, and one of my favorite. And I'm going to show you this one here. This is another one of my favorite. This is an Emerald Lagasse saute pan. What's special about this pan is that it has a very thick bottom. You see that? It retains heat longer. Heat is spread out more evenly down on the saute pan. The sides are nice and curved. They're thin and they're lightweight. The sides are lightweight because most of the weight's on the back, so at the bottom, the balance is really nice. But I won't be using this guy because he's not large enough to hold those big steaks. Now, when we talk about cast iron skillets need to be seasoned properly. But if you have one that you haven't used in a long time, or maybe, and it's rusted, I recommend that you wash it with some warm, soapy water. Then turn on your oven at 350 degrees. Take that nice, clean, unseasoned pan and give it a nice coating of some vegetable oil. Throw it in the oven for 45 minutes to start re-seasoning that pan. And at that point, cook a pound of bacon in it. And when you wash your cast irons, use no soap. Simply remove all the grease, add a little water, put it back on the stove, turn on the heat. Just take all that grease and water out and basically just dry it. Oh, you can hit it with some water as long as it's not, you don't use any soap. Put it back on the stove, put the heat on so it'll dry, and you want to build the seasoning up on the cast iron. This guy I've had, I got this guy in 05, and as you could tell, she really seasoned up really well. Excellent. Oh, let's talk about salts. I'll be using kosher salt today, which I recommend that you do too, because it's flaky. Let's see if you could see that. Big flakes, and it does a wonderful job of just melting into your steaks, or melting into your oil as you saute. I wouldn't recommend, if you use house just iodine salt, your table salt, go ahead and move up. Take your cooking up another notch and pick up a box of some kosher salt or sea salt. There's many different types of salts out there, but let's use and concentrate on some kosher salt for today. Pepper, of course, needs to be fresh, cracked. Don't sell yourself short with pepper. Fresh, cracked pepper is a must. Excellent. That cast iron is almost done. Next time you join me, I'm going to be searing off these steaks. Alright, we're back. The pans are screaming hot. I'm going to turn on the fan, so I apologize for the noise. Here we go. Now, I treated the steaks a little different. The one that's going in the cast iron, I'll explain it here. The steak that's going in the cast iron, I went ahead and coated it with some olive oil. The one in the saute pan, I just put regular canola oil right on the pan. Otherwise, the cast iron's dry. Here comes the fan. Saute pan going in first. Then the cast iron steak. I have the cast iron on at full blast. Full blast. You could even wrap a brick in aluminum foil. Get her nice and wrapped up, and you can put the brick wrapped in aluminum foil on top of your steak here to ensure that it gets nice and pressed. This guy don't need it. And once you put your steaks in your pan, don't move your steaks. Let them be. The moment the oil is a little easier to check, you see the edges of the steak that are touching the pan, and that's what I'm looking at. Once that edge starts getting golden brown, It's a tall tale telling us that she's reaching a nice crust. The saute pan one is a little different because it's a dry pan, so it doesn't give you a whole lot, but I'm going to let her sear off for at least 3 minutes. Well, I'm going to let you go, and you'll get back to me right when I'm turning one of these guys over. Alright, we're coming in at 3 minutes. Let's turn the saute pan steak over. Let's see what she looks like. Be very careful. Beautiful. See that color? That's what you want to see. A beautiful golden crust. And that's what a kosher salt will do for you. Now, the cast iron steak, I'm going to give another minute. Because she's a little thicker. And I want to be sure that I got a beautiful pan-seared crust on it before she goes in the oven. I'm going to leave this guy on for another 3 minutes. And I'm going to turn off the heat. Alright, let's take a look at this cast iron steak. Oh yeah. See that? Let her go for another, I'm going to let this one go for another 4 minutes. This is a good, almost an inch thicker at this point on this end. Alright, we'll get back right when they're going in the oven. Alright, they're ready to roll. I'm going to put them in the oven now. The oven is set at 400 degrees. In go the cast iron. And it's very important that you have proper ventilation. I cannot stress enough. You must have proper ventilation. So I'm going to let them go in my 400 degree oven for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And I will add that my target temperature on both these steaks is 135, which is medium. Alright, I pulled them out of the oven. The pan-seared steak's at 135, and she'll go up another 5 degrees. The sauteer was up about mid-well. She's up about 140 because she's smaller. And they went up quick, folks. At that 400 degree oven, I pulled them off just short of 5 minutes, maybe 4.5 minutes. And they're done. Now we're just going to put them in the respective plates, let them rest. Excuse me, sorry about that. And we're going to start on these pan sauces. Alright, let's get these sauces going. I got the pans going on medium heat. So the first thing I'm going to go in with some butter on both pans. A little bit of butter. Going with some shallots. Ooh, let me get my stock back here. Get it out of harm's way. Okay. I'm going to add some fresh herbs right now. Here's some thyme, rosemary, now on this end I'm going to add the mushrooms, I'm not gonna season them because they probably have the pan has plenty of salt from the steak, but I'm just gonna get just a little dash of salt there. Okay, to the cast iron pan, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of the chicken stock. I'm gonna let that reduce down. Now over here, I want the mushrooms to start cooking and releasing their stuff. I might add a little more butter to that pan because the mushrooms are soaking up that butter. Let that go. We're going to pull out the herb stems later. You could also just pull them off and put them in, but I'm doing more like a rustic feel to it. But we could definitely pull them out. Looking nice. The smells are incredible. Oh, that fresh thyme. Holy smokes. All right. Mushrooms are looking nice and sauteed. And here comes the red wine. I'm going to hit a little red wine so it'll instantly just reduce. See how it's just doing its thing right there? Just reducing. Flavor, the smells are really grapey-ish, kind of really berry-like. Then I'll go ahead and hit it with the rest. I'm going to turn up the heat on the wine. Cast iron's looking good. I think we are ready for the cream. I'm going to add the cream. Let's give this cream a shake. How much cream to add? You just gotta eye it. No more than what you got on there. I would say less than whatever you have in the pan, for sure. That wine's looking beautiful. And they're both cream sauces. The cream does a good job of reducing. I'm going to turn down the heat on the cast iron. Of reducing and reaching that desired to coat a spoon type of sauce, you know. Does a good job of reducing down with the milk fat, dairy fat. It just makes a beautiful little consistency to it. Now how far am I going down on this? I would say you need to reduce your wine by 70%. By 70% at least. Alright, these sauces are finished. Take a look at our cast iron sauce. And again, we pan seared our steak, threw it in the oven, cooked her off. Just remove some of the fat, just enough to start it. Added a little bit of butter, shallots, deglazed with stock. Let it reduce. Added a little cream and let it reduce. I seasoned with salt and finished it off with butter. Just a dab of butter you put on your toast, just right at the end to mellow it out, give it a beautiful sheen and look to it. Now our wine sauce. Again, we seared the steak, put it in the oven, cooked her off, put her on a plate, like both of these, I tinted with foil. Removed most of the fat, just enough that I needed to start the pan with some fresh butter. Shallots that I sweated. Added the onions. Added the mushrooms that I sweated. Then a deglaze with a Cabernet Sauvignon. Then I added the cream, reduced that. Finished seasoning with salt, pepper, and I mounted with butter too, and that helps with the sheen, mellows out the flavor, and just gives it a real beautiful buttery texture. So those are our two steaks. Now, let me make something clear. The cast iron is no bueno with wine. The wine and the cast iron have a reaction, a chemical reaction that will turn your sauce brown, and the flavor won't be all that. So if you're going to use a wine, you got to use a fine stainless steel saute pan. But it doesn't stop you from making great sauces here. Deglaze with some beautiful stock, cream if you have, or you could put a beurre mayonnaise, which is just simply butter and flour bound together. So if you don't have a cream and you just have stock, you just put the beurre mayonnaise, like little tiny little M&M peanut sized balls of butter and flour, equal amounts, and that'll thicken you up. Or use a roux. Anyway, that's a different video, but both these sauces look beautiful. They are delicious. Let's plate these steaks up and give her a taste test. Alright, let's give these guys a taste. Let's start with the cast iron steak. And if you remember, it was just shallots, stock, and cream. Alright, let's pick a nice small piece. That's not too bad. It went a little over, maybe she like a mid-well. Definitely taste the herbs, the thyme, rosemary, the shallots, and the cream. The steak is seasoned throughout. I think anyone will be proud to make that steak. Let's taste the mushroom and wine sauce. Alright, let's taste this red wine and mushroom steak. Oh my God. The wine, the mushrooms, the shallots, and the fresh herbs, all bound together by cream and butter. Delicious. Well, I hope you like this video. Two beautiful ways to prepare a steak, and hopefully you feel confident enough to try it. You should. It's awfully easy. A nice pan, whether it's a cast iron or a saute pan. You don't gotta go do any sauces or stuff. My steaks were a little over, otherwise when I pulled them out of the oven I would have threw some butter and some more fresh herbs and basted that steak. But since I was gonna make the sauce, I decided to not do it. That's what you could do. You don't have to do a fancy sauce like that, but hopefully you can see how easy it is to make a beautiful pan-seared sauce. Remember the kosher salt? How to mount with butter if you do the sauce? Right on, right on. Well, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys here next time on The Guy Show. Goodbye, everybody.